So, in this video, we will try to highlight some names related to leaders of revolt of 1857. For preliminary examination, probably it would be more relevant. Why we are highlighting? Because there is a tendency to ask these leaders, and there are historians like who are working on different areas and the spread of this revolt in different areas. So, there is a possibility of asking some name related to the leaders of revolt of 1857. So, we can give heading leaders of revolt of 1857. Leaders of revolt of 1857. As you all know, the revolt started in May, right? But Mangal Pandey reacted against, you can say, the use of that infield rifle. And after Mangal Pandey, Meerut, and after Meerut, you will see, right, that it reached Delhi. And in Delhi, right, they made Bahadur Shah Jafar, Mughal ruler, as their leader, nominal leader. Some historians say that Bahadur Shah Jafar was made the leader. So, whether they wanted to restore Mughal rule, whether this 1857 revolt was restorative in character, right. But idea was to unite people, and they realized that only this man can provide leadership, at least you can say some symbolic leadership. So, when you talk about the leaders of revolt of 1857, we have to remember Bahadur Shah Jafar, Mughal ruler. He was a weak man, no doubt about it, but symbolic, prestige that time, even respect that time, right. So, he was the symbolic leader. But in Delhi, most of the historians say that no, he was not active leader. Anyhow, for our examination, you have to see that in Delhi, who can be considered as leader, who all were involved in Delhi, who all were involved in Lucknow, Kanpur, Jhansi, Ara, Faizabad, Allahabad, right, even Assam. So, there were many leaders and they all participated. So, for our examination point of view, we have to remember some names, right. Some names, some important names they are giving, they are highlighting even in your new NCERT. So, even those names also you should remember, right. So, we can mention some important name, right. So, we can add the first name in this, you will see revolt of 1857 you can mention was Bahadur Shah Jafar. Title was Bahadur Shah, right. Title was Jafar and name was Bahadur Shah too, right. And here you have to remember that Bahadur Shah Jafar was the leader, but with him, right, some names associated, and they were also associated with the revolt of 1857, like his son, right, Mirza Mughal, right. His original name was Mirza Johoruddin, right. So, he also participated. So, who knows, they can give you these names and they can ask you that they were associated with the revolt of 1857 or not, right. Then there was, right, one more man, right, his son Jeevan Bakht, So, Jeevan Bakht also played important role, right. Then his wife, what you call Jeenat Mahal, she also played important role, So, associated with Bahadur Shah Zafar, these name you should remember. They can also be considered as leaders of revolt of 1857, right. Then second important name you can remember in Delhi, General Bakht Khan. General Bakht, General Bakht Khan, right, General Bakht Khan. He had some connection with Bareilly, but right, he was very popular, Sahib-e Alam Bahadur, and he was probably the real leader, they say, right. So, General Bakht Khan, you can remember, he was also associated with, and what you can see here, try to understand, Hindu-Muslim unity was the most important feature of this 1857 revolt. You will see that Hindu leaders, Muslim leaders, they all are playing important role, right. Then you will see some participation of women also. So, you should remember these names. You can use these names for, you can say in your examination in different question, right. Then third important name we can remember from Kanpur, Nana Sahib. Nana Sahib. Nana Sahib. He was also called Dhondhu Pant. He was also called Dhondhu Pant. So, Nana Sahib was also a very popular ruler, of course, Peshwa, Nana Sahib, and he was not allowed that pension and all. So, Nana Sahib in Kanpur, very important, and he was associated with many incident. If you had heard about Sati Chaura, right, incident, Sati Chaura Ghat incident, right, Sati Chaura Ghat incident, it is said that he killed some Europeans, right, Sati Chaura Ghat incident. So, Nana Sahib, very popular man, Maratha, right. So, Nana Sahib, Dhondhu Pant played important role. Then you have some less known name in Kanpur like Rao Sahib. Rao Sahib. Then you have Ajimullah Khan. Ajimullah Khan. He was an advisor also, it is said. Azimullah Khan. Then very popular name, Tatya Tope, Tatya Tope. And always remember, if you get any new article in your newspaper regarding these people, right, you have to prepare Tatya Tope. Tatya Tope, very popular man, Tatya Tope. It is said that he was Ramchandra Pandurang, right, but popularly you can say Tatya Tope. He was betrayed, right, by Man Singh, and then he was captured. So, there are many stories regarding Tatya Tope, and they are asking also. So, you have to remember Tatya Tope. Then Tika Singh, right, this name also you can see, Tika Singh. So, these names are related to a revolt of 1857 in Kanpur area. Then in Lucknow area also you will see many name, and as you all know that after Meerut, Delhi, after Delhi you will see Kanpur, after Kanpur, Lucknow. So, there was gradual spread of this revolt. So, in Lucknow, you have some name like, right, Hajrat Mahal, right, Hajrat Mahal, Begum of Awadh. Then you have name like Birjis Qadir, 11-year-old son. Then In Lucknow, Maulvi Ahmadullah also played important role. Maulvi Ahmadullah also played important role. He was, it is said that there are different stories regarding his origin. Some of the historians, they say that he was linked to south, right? Some, they say that Faizabad, right? So there are different stories regarding Mahmud Ahmadullah. They are asking also Maulvi Ahmadullah, right? Then next very popular name in revolt of 1857 was Rani Lakshmi Bai. Rani Lakshmi Bai. Rani Lakshmi Bai, widow of Raja Gangadhar Rao. And as I mentioned, right, that Sir Hugh Rose considered her as the bravest, right. So there are stories regarding Rani Lakshmi Bai. What was his original name, right? Some bodyguard like Kasi and Mandara, right? Then all those stories, Rani Lakshmi Bai. So she played very important role. Then you have, right, Lakshman Rao, Lakshman, not Lakshman, Lakshman. Lakshman Rao also. He also instigated, aroused, you can say, feeling of, right, nationalism among the sepoys, right. So these names. Then you will see you have some name like, and right, your NCRT highlighted some name like Sahmal. Sahmal. He was, right, Uttar Pradesh. He was, you can say, from Uttar Pradesh, and it is said that he mobilized cultivators of Chaurasi Des. He mobilized cultivators of Chaurasi Des. Right, so these kind of information can be asked. Why? Because you will not get this kind of information in the old material or the old text. These are some new, right. And he was killed later. It is said that he was killed. So there are many information coming regarding Sahmal. So you can remember. Then you have, right, with many information, as I told you about Mahmud Ahmadullah, like you have, right, the Battle of Chinhai, he was jailed in Faizabad, all those information. So you should remember these names. Sahmal can be asked. Then the next important area where revolt became very popular was Bihar, and in Bihar there was a Jamindar called Kunwar Singh. Right, so Jamindar of Jagdishpur, Kunwar Singh in Bihar, Ara. So he played important role. Then in Bihar there was a leader called Pir Ali, very popular name. Pir Ali played important role. Then Amar Singh was known for his guerrilla warfare. Amar Singh in Bihar. So he also played important role in a revolt of 1857. Then you have some less known names, right, in different areas, like in Madhya Pradesh, Mandsaur. In Mandsaur there was a name called Firoz Shah. So Firoz Shah was also, right, a very important ruler, very important prince, right, and he played important role. Then in Allahabad there was a name called Liaquat Ali. So generally Liaquat Ali associated, right, with this revolt of 1857. Then even the northeast also, now we have some information. In Assam there was a man called Diwan Maniram Datta. Right, so he played important role. Then in Meerut, in the Meerut area, there is a name called Kadam Singh. So whatever area we are mentioning, you have to remember that these areas were more effective area for this revolt of 1857. So one of the weakness of this revolt was it was limited to certain areas, some areas, not you can say an all India basis, right. So that kind of limitation it had, right. So these name at least you should remember for your examination, and if there is some new name related to current affairs, of course they can ask you, right. So when you discuss revolt of 1857, how the spread of this revolt, I told you how they spread: Meerut, Delhi, Kanpur, Lucknow, Jhansi, then Bihar, like that. So you will see that they can give you, right, a question to arrange them. It actually started on 10th May, Meerut, and 11th May, Delhi. So these are some important popular question related to, they can give you a matching test, they can give you the name, and you have to arrange them, right. So arrange these ruler with their place. So if you can remember these name, I hope that you can manage most of the question, right. They can ask beyond that also, but you can manage, right, those questions.